Welcome. A Grand Slam nation without a Grand Slam system. Australia hosts one of the greatest sporting events in the world, the Australian Open. It's a global spectacular, a commercial powerhouse, a tourism magnet, a broadcast juggernaut and a real cultural celebration. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The Australian Open is thriving while Australian tennis is in decline. We've built a world-class event on top of a very much weakening foundation. This episode is about naming the truth Tennis Australia chooses to avoid. We are a Grand Slam nation without a Grand Slam pathway. 1. The performance decline. The results don't lie. Australia once produced champions like clockwork. Now, few top 20 players, fewer deeper Grand Slam runs, fewer juniors breaking through, fewer doubles specialists dominating, and fewer players transitioning from juniors to the pros. We celebrate Alex de Minaur making quarterfinals. That's how good it's got. This isn't a talent issue. Australia still has the athletes. This is a system issue. You cannot produce world-class players when the pathway is inconsistent, the costs are prohibitive, the coaching system is fragmented, and the domestic calendar is thin of anything worth looking at. The national strategy changes, and the national strategy changes every few years. Other nations have surged ahead. When it comes to tennis, Australia has stalled. The cost crisis. Tennis is priced out of its own future. Tennis is now one of the most expensive sports in the country. Families face coaching fees, private lessons, travel costs, tournament entry fees, equipment and court hire, strength and conditioning, physio and recovery. The pathway is not just narrow, it's financially exclusive. Talent is not the barrier, money is. A real shake-up means subsidising junior development, reducing tournament costs, supporting regional families, funding travel pathways, and making tennis accessible again. Right now, the sport is losing kids long before it loses matches. 3. The domestic void. There's no national league or competition or identity. This is the part Tennis Australia never wants to talk about. Australia has no meaningful domestic tennis structure. No national league. No professional pathways. No sort of home and away competition. No anything really. No national identity outside of January. The Australian Open is a global event, but the rest of the year, pretty much silence. Other nations have strong domestic circuits. They have professional competitions. They have year-round competitions. They have clear pathways, and they've developed local heroes. Australia has a 2-week festival. You can't build a tennis nation on a fortnight. 4. The pathway problem. Too many gaps, too little support. And it is a real issue. The pathway from junior to pro is broken. Players face a massive jump from junior tournaments to international events, limited domestic stepping stone competitions, inconsistent coaching standards and a lack of structured national camps. A system that relies on individual families and not a national strategy. The result of this: talented juniors burn out, talented teenagers quit the game, talented young adults just simply disappear. The pathway is not a ladder, it's a complete and utter cliff. There's a coaching gap, a system without a system. Australia once had a coaching identity. Now it has a fragmented private academies, competing philosophies, no unified national approach, no consistent development model, no long-term coaching pipeline. The best coaches leave, the best juniors scatter, the system becomes a marketplace, not a pathway. A real shake-up means national coaching alignment, long-term development frameworks, investments in coach education, incentives to keep elite coaches in Australia. You can't produce champions without producing coaches. 6. The Australian Open is masks success that hides the problem. The Australian Open is so successful that it hides a decline underneath it. It creates the illusion that tennis is booming, tennis is healthy, Tennis is growing. Tennis is thriving. But the reality is completely different. Participation is dropping. Clubs are closing. Coaches are leaving. Juniors are quitting. Pathways are thinning. Results are declining. We're now celebrating, as I say, Alex de Minaur making a quarter-final at a major. The Australian Open is not the health of the sport, it's the distraction from the sport's health. So how do we shake up Australian tennis? If tennis wants to rebuild its identity, not just host a world-class event, it needs a reset built on courage, not comfort. Build a national domestic competition. Reduce the cost barriers for families. Rebuild the junior to pro pathway. Align coaching under a national philosophy. Invest in regional and suburban clubs. Create a year-round national tennis identity. Stop relying on the Australian Open to mask the structural decline, because the truth is simple. Australia didn't stop producing champions. The system stopped producing them. This shake-up is about rebuilding the sport from the ground up.